please put your hands together and give a great Concerts on the Green happy greeting. In honor of Independence Day, let's please welcome the Tom Nutile Big Band.
Thank you so much. Actually, this is one of the best engagements we play all year. We love coming here. There's always a great audience, you all. Sam Mercurio does a great job with sound. Framingham Cable Access is tremendous with their high-def cameras. And thank you to Trish Powell and the Park and Rec Department for making this possible. Yes, we are a big band and we do many things, including patriotic songs. So since this is July 5th, we're going to start off with the National Anthem. Please feel free to stand while we play the National Anthem. Thank you so much. We're so pleased to be able to celebrate Independence Day with you. We're going to start off. We are a swing band. We do many things, but mostly we do swing. We're going to start off with the first song from the first concert where jazz was ever played in that bastion of classical music, Carnegie Hall. It was the Benny Goodman Big Band on January 16th, 1938, and the first tune was this one, Don't Be That Way. Thank you so much. That featured on trumpet, Mr. Joe Cosgrove, and on trombone, Steve Rusich. We're going to do another tune. We didn't plan it this way, but it's going to be another song that features a trombone. You will rarely hear that anywhere except for in a big band. It's called Song of India. It's a Tommy Dorsey hit from the 1930s. Song of India. Actually, it's based on a Rimsky-Korsakov motif. So we're playing classical music at the same time we're playing America's classical music. Thanks very much. And once again, Mr. Joe Cosgrove on trumpet and Steve Rusich on trombone. We're going to do something, I think this is unprecedented in the history of Massachusetts. We're going to have a big band concert with 3 trombone tunes right at the beginning. I didn't plan it this way, it just happened. And this featured, we have a number of residents who are local. I live in Natick, and we have several Framingham residents, one of whom is Mr. Ed Broadman, who's featured on this tune. It's called Blues Conference. It's kind of a 1980s style Count Basie tune, Blues Conference. Thank you so much. And of course, on plunger trombone, Mr. Ed Broadman, Framingham resident. I think he lives just up the street. What did you say? Cook out at your house after the gig, Ed? Is that your wife preparing now? Okay, but we'll tell you where he lives later. And also, of course, our great rhythm section featuring our keyboardist, Mr. Dale Hubbard. And I think was there a trumpet solo in there again? Was that Mr. Roger Grover? Mr. Roger Grover on your right. Roger Grover on trumpet. A band leader is often asked to do many things when he leads a band. Sometimes he needs to say that the 1964 Volkswagen minibus's lights are on and there's a strange aroma coming from it. Other times he actually has to tell people to stay off the flagpole. This time I'm told that Professor Joseph Cosgrove would like one of his children to come to the bandstand. He needs to give them something very important. So one of Joe Cosgrove's children, maybe it's actually his permission slip to be late, I'm not sure, but please come to the bandstand. In the meantime, we're going to bring up our singer, Marianne Talty, and we're going to do a tune that we're known for. It's called It Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing.
It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Thank you.
Marianne Talty singing a great little Duke Ellington tune. We're going to do another tune. This is a tune that many people have done a great job on. It actually was a big hit from Nat King Cole, which was one of the first hits that was actually bolstered by television. It was featured a few times on a television variety show. It's called Orange Colored Sky.
I was walking along, minding my
I'm always amazed because there's so many words to fit in to so short a space, but she manages to do it. Now one of the great things about having a big band like this with 17 musicians is because we have so many different colors and possibilities we can do with a band this big and frankly with musicians this good. So we're going to do a tune where Marianne does not have to work hard to fit lots of notes into a short period, but she transforms herself into Patsy Cline. It's a country tune written originally by Willie Nelson, but the big hit was by Patsy Cline, and it's called Crazy. Crazy.
Crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you'd love me as long as you wanted. And then someday you'd leave me for somebody new. Worry, why do I let myself worry? Wonder what Thank you so much.
Marianne Talty. And if you wondered who was playing that great backcountry saxophone, that was one of our Framingham residents here, Mr. Ray Toronto. I think he lives I think he lives in the backwoods in Framingham. That's why he's able to play such great backwoods saxophone. Actually, he's co-hosting the party afterwards with Ed Broadman too, since he's a resident. We're going to do a Glenn Miller tune. It's called Little Brown Jug. It just seems to, it's just got such a contagious beat. We love playing it at outdoor concerts. Little Brown Jug. It could be worse. It could be a train going by that with like 40 or 50 cars. We'll just wait till
Don't
the
even
ringing
think
is
that, because
done.
the ambulances haven't gone by the fire trucks and the police. And the clock is actually right this week. Last week it was off by 20 minutes, so I don't know what happened.
That's because this band has good time. Anyway, Little Brown Jug. We have many wonderful soloists in this band. I won't necessarily keep introducing the ones you've heard before, but that on tenor sax, that was Mr. Kenji Kikuchi. We're going to do another Glenn Miller tune. Number one, because we think it's a great tune, and number two, because it is a patriotic tune. It was one of Glenn Miller's hits during World War II. It's called American Patrol. We're going to do a much more modern big band tune now. It's there's a gentleman who did a lot of arranging for concert band, for college bands, for high school bands, and for the Count Basie Orchestra in the 1980s. His name was Sammy Nestico. In fact, I think he's still with us. He's about 95 years old. And He did some of the really great sounding 1980s and 1990s Count Basie arrangements. And this is one of the classics from the 1920s, Sweet Georgia Brown. And it features our great rhythm section and one of our saxophonists, Sweet Georgia Brown.
Featuring Mr. Mark Weissman on tenor saxophone. We played that song for a number of reasons, one of which is because it's a great, fun song. Another is because obviously this is an Independence Day celebration, and our musicians have all sorts of great backgrounds. Some of them are full-time music teachers, some of them are computer techs. And Mark came to us originally as someone who subbed in the band. He was playing in the Air Force Band in Hanscom, nearby. And one day I called up Mark to see if he could play an engagement. He said, dude, I've been transferred. I said, where? He said, I'm out in wine country in California. And I thought, oh my God, this military gig is such a tough gig. But Mark is back now, and he's actually teaching school in, is it Brimfield? But someone who had a long and glorious career in the Air Force, Mr. Mark Weissman. Let's hear it for our veterans. Now we're going to call up our veteran singer, and I call him my co-pilot, Mr. Jim Bramante, to sing a few tunes. Beyond the Sea.
Wow.
They actually, no, there was, they put that out, and there was a census question, should we have tanks or not? And they said no.
Said no tanks.
Here we go, Beyond the Sea. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me, my lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing. Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me. If I could fly on birds on high, then straight to her arms I'd go sailing. It's far beyond the stars, it's near beyond the moon. I know beyond the doubts my heart will lead me there soon. We'll meet, I know we'll meet beyond the shore. We'll kiss just as before. Happy we'll be beyond the sea, and never again to go sailing.
We'll do another one or two from Jim. This also is a, I think of as a Nat King Cole tune. It's called Walking My Baby Back Home. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, gee, but it's great after being out late, walking walking my baby back home. Arm in arm over meadow and farm, walking my baby back home. We go along harmonizing a song, I'll even recite a poem. The hours go by and they give us the eye, walking my baby back home. We stop for a while, give her a smile, and snuggle her head to my chest. We started to pet, and that's when I get her talcum all over my vest. After I kinda straighten my tie, she needs to borrow my comb. One kiss, then we continue again, walking my baby back home. She's afraid of the dark, so I have to park outside of her door till it's light. She says if she tries to kiss her, she'll cry. I dry her tears all through the night. Hand in hand to the barbecue stand, straight to her doorway we roam. Hours go by and I give her the eye, walking my baby. I don't need maybe, she's my baby. It's not a baby, walking my baby back home.
Walking my baby back home. It's an arrangement from Billy May, one of the great arrangers of the middle part of the century. He's one of the several people who made Frank Sinatra sound the way he did, and we know how good that was. We're going to do a tune. I wouldn't think of it as a big band tune, but it's been given new life recently by a big band singer named Michael Bublé. Comes from an old Peter Sellers movie back in the 60s. And talk about different cultural influences. That was a Peter Sellers movie, Englishman. The song was written by the American songwriter great Henry Mancini. It has a Latin beat, and it's sung in English and Italian. It's called It Had Better Be Tonight. And it's sung by our great Italian-American singer, Mr. James L. Bramante.
Meglio stasera, baby, go, go, go. Or as we natives say, fa subito. If you're ever gonna love me, it had better be tonight. While the mandolins are playing and stars are bright. If you're ever gonna tell me, it had better be tonight. Or somebody else may tell me, they might just say that's right. Meglio stasera, baby, go, go, go. Or as we natives say, fa subito. If you're ever gonna hold me, it had better be tonight. Or somebody else may hold me, whisper the words right. Io stasera, baby, go, go, go. Or as we natives say, va subito. For this poor Americano who knows a little of your speech, be a nice Italiana and start to teach. I know. Lovers hold each other oh so tight. Be a nice paisana and whisper those words just right. Io stasera, baby, go, go, go. Or as we natives say, va subito. Grazie.
It had better be tonight. What a great song. Sometime a few years ago, after running this band for many, many, many decades, I got this incredibly novel idea that it'd be great to have two singers, and we did that for a few years. And then it took me another 5 years to come up with the idea, gosh, we have two singers. How can we best leverage their skills? And I got this great idea. In fact, one of you came to it much sooner than I did. Let's have them sing duets. And yes, Jim's right, because usually when we don't have a great sound guy like Sam Mercurio, Jim gets to bring the PA, and he makes us sound great. So we're going to do a duet from World War II. It's called Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree with anyone else but me.
Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me. With anyone else but me. With anyone else but me. No, no, no. Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me. Till I come marching home. Well, don't go walking down Lover's Lane with anyone else but me. With anyone else but me. With anyone else but me. No, 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 don't go walk down Lover's Lane with anyone else but me till I come marching home. Well, I just got word from the guy who heard about the guy next door to you. He says that Spence and loves to bet, suits you to a T. And don't go under the apple tree with anyone else but me till I come marching home.
Don't give out those lips of yours to anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. No, no, no. Watch the girls on foreign shores. You'll have to report to me when you come marching home. Don't hold anyone on your knee. You better be true to me. You better be true to me. You better be true to me. Don't hold anyone on your knee. You'll be getting the third degree when you come marching home. You're on your own where there is no fun. This is your boy, you and me. And I'll be true till you come marching home. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we get very, very modern for us. We're going to do a duet from the 1960s. It's from the Temptations. It's called My Girl.
I got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I've got the month of May. Well, I guess you say what can make me feel this way. It's my girl. Bees envy me. I've got a sweet, sweet song, sweeter than the birds in the tree. Well, I guess you'd say what can make me feel this way. It's my girl, my girl, my girl. Let's see, Temptations, 5 people. Marianne and Jim, 2. I think 2 got 5 beat any day. Anyway, thank you so much. We're going to take a short break, and we will be right back. And as you know, we always save our best stuff for the second set. So we'll see you in just a few minutes. Thank you, Sam.
All right, let's hear it for the Tom Newtley Big Band. They'll be back in about 10, 15 minutes.
This job looks perfect. It says you need a high school diploma. You've got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that.
Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together once again for the Tom Newtley Big Band.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. One of the reasons why we're still around in part is because there is this great resurgence of interest in swing and swing bands in the 1980s and 90s. And to be honest, I don't completely understand it. But it was a youth movement, kids in their teens, 20s, early 30s. And the way it came back was in bands that did, I'm going to call it neo swing. They had this idea that everyone wore zoot suits and watch fobs and hats and two-tone shoes and danced the Lindy Hop, and it really gave us great life because we now play many swing dances like that. In fact, we're going to do one in a couple of nights. One of the best swing dances around, way out in Leominster, called Dance to Swing. Every Sunday night they do something in the back of the Elks Hall in Leominster. So if you want to hear us in our dancing glory, look it up on our website, tomnutile.com, and you'll see more details about where we're playing 2 nights from now. But we play songs like we've played, and then we play songs from the resurgence of swing, like this one. It's called Zoot Suit Riot.
And I can honestly vouch for Tom and the guys because I've actually seen them out there, and they're really, it's a great place to see them.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to now do a church hymn. It's called Just a Closer Walk with Thee. But it's actually done New Orleans style. And I had to be educated in this when someone brought this tune in to me. And it's New Orleans second line style, and I had no idea what that was. But basically what that means is, in true New Orleans fashion, you've got a great friend, and he or she led a great life of excess and died much too young, and you're marching to the grave
to bury your friend and feeling sad. And then all of a sudden, it's time to march back to Bourbon Street and have some fun. So this tune starts off, we are paying our tribute to our friend, and then in the end, just as he or she would have wanted, we're going to celebrate New Orleans style. It goes something like this.
So that's really an example of New Orleans' second line. And you know, as the evening goes on, I keep mentioning who our soloists are, the people that stand up and they play out in front of the band. But everyone in the band is important, and very important are the people that lead the sections. They play the highest part, they set the tone, they decide how we're going to articulate, and sometimes they don't get as much attention as they deserve. So leading us in that tune at the beginning was our great lead trumpet player, Stefan Jonsson. Stefan Jonsson. And I shouldn't be telling tales out of school about the inner workings of the band, but if you've heard us here before, you've heard our fantastic lead trumpet player, and about a week before our summer concert season began, he called me up and said, I'm going to miss some gigs. I said, yeah, why? He goes, I'm having open heart surgery. And I said, okay. He's doing fine. He's running around and jumping, but I had about 3 days to get a new lead trumpet player, so I went to one of my main men, Mr. Ray Toronto, and I said, Ray, who's the best lead trumpet player around? And he said, you have to get Stefan. So, Stefan, thank you so much. On one rehearsal, he is knocking it out. I would love to introduce all the members of the band. I'm going to do that, some of it a little quickly, and we're going to get on and play some music. Trumpet section, as you know, Joe Cosgrove on your left, Stefan on lead, Roger Grover on your right. Our trombone section, our Framingham's own Ed Broadman, Steve Ruzich playing bass trombone. Mr. Dick McGrath will introduce some of the other band members in a little bit. But right now we're going to bring back Marianne, and as I said, we play tunes from all over the spectrum and all over the calendar. This is from the 1920s. It's called I Want to Be Loved by You, and it was the tune that really created the one who became known as Betty Boop. And you'll see why when you see American. Marianne sing this great American classic, I Want to Be Loved by You.
I wanna be loved by you, just you, and nobody else but you. I wanna be loved by you alone. Boop, boop, be doo, boo. I wanna be kissed by you, just you, and nobody else but you. I wanna be kissed by you alone. I couldn't aspire to anything higher than to feel the desire to make you my own. Ba-da-ba-da-be-da-bum-bum. I wanna be loved by you, just you, and nobody else but you. I wanna be loved by you alone. I couldn't aspire to anything higher than to feel the desire to make you my own. Ba-dum, ba-dum, be-dum, bum, bum. I
Boo-boopy-doo. Wow. And if that sounds vaguely familiar to you, it's because Marilyn Monroe sang that in the 1950s movie Some Like It Hot with, what was that, Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis and an all-girls band. And, well, the weather is much too hot for us to dress up like that, so we just did it our way. Let's do Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We're going to do an outdoor tune. It's called Take Me Out to the Ball Game, big band style. I try to say something relevant about the Red Sox, but at this point, I think they're on their own. We're just hoping for a wild card spot and have them win and win and win and wind up in the World Series. And we can dream, can't we? The band leader can never find his stuff. I hate the band leader. He just never has his tunes out. One, two, I want to, four. We're going to do a classic American song about marriage and relationships. It's been around since the 1920s. It's been done by everyone from Eddie Cantor to Dr. John and Ricky Lee Jones, and that's where we got the idea to sing it as a duet. It's called Makin' Whoopee, Makin' Whoopee.
ride. Another June, another sunny honeymoon, another season, another reason for making whoopee.
A lot of shoes, a lot of rice. The groom is nervous, he answers twice. It's really killing that he's so willing for making whoopee.
Now picture a little love nest down where the roses cling. Picture that same sweet love nest. Think what a year can bring.
He's washing dishes and baby clothes. He's so ambitious, he even sews. But don't forget, folks, that's what you get, folks, for making whoopee.
Another year, well, maybe less. What's this I hear? Well, you can't confess. She's feeling neglected. He's suspected of making whoopee.
She sits alone most every night. He doesn't phone her, he doesn't write. He said he's busy, but she said, is he? He's making whoopee.
Now he doesn't make much money, only $5,000. Some judge thinks he's funny, says pay $6 to her.
He says, now judge, suppose I fail. The judge says, budge, right into jail. You better keep her. I think it's cheaper than making whoopee.
I think I'll keep her. Oh yes, it's cheaper
Than making whoopee.
Okay, you win.
It sounds like you held a seance and brought back Dr. John. Thank you so much. We are going to move forward and we're going to do our greatest hits since we're running out of time. So we are going to have Marianne sing At Last. At Last. This is the quintessential wedding song, but it's just, to me, it's a great dance song, it's a great concert song, it's a great slow dance song, At Last.
At last, my love has come along. My lonely days are over. life is like a song. Oh yeah. At last, the skies above are blue. My heart was wrapped up in clover. The night that I looked at you, I found a dream that I could speak to, a dream that I could call my own. I found a thrill to press my cheek to, a thrill that I never known. You smiled, and then the spell was cast. Now here we are in heaven, for you are mine at last. I found a dream that I could speak to, a dream that I could call my own. I found a thrill to press my cheek to, a thrill that I never known. You smiled, and then the spell was cast. Now here we are in heaven, for you are mine at last. Thank you so much.
That was great, Marianne. Thank you so much. We're gonna do a rock pop tune from the 1960s. This it was done by Frankie Valli, and of course he had a rather small band with him, and we decided we wanted to do this tune, and we went to a great arranger in the Boston area and said, could you tailor this to our band? And he did. His name is Tom Lamarck, and the tune is Can't Take My Eyes Off You.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I think I
There's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. And if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to keep playing all night long, but actually our time is almost up, so we're gonna close with a tune that we have a lot of fun with. It's kind of like the New Orleans second line. It's just sort of a lot of mischievous merriment. It's called Mac the Knife. Mac the Knife. And it stars Mr. Jim Lamonte.
There's a jackknife, has my key, dear, and he keeps it way out of sight. You know when that shark bites with those teeth, dear, scarlet billows they begin to spread. Fancy white gloves have my keep here. There's never a trace of red on the sidewalk on that Sunday morning. While there's a body just oozing life. Someone sneaking around the corner. Perhaps, perchance, it's Mac the Knight. Did you hear about Dewey Miller? He disappeared late last night after going to the ATM, getting all of his cash out. Well, our friend Mac, he's out spending like a sailor. Could it be perchance, perhaps, he's done something rash? Jenny Dollar, Suki Tawdry, Cadet for Miss Lovely, and old Lucy Brown. The line goes on to the right, babe. Whenever Mackie's back in town, there was a tugboat just going down the Mystic River, going slow. They were throwing cement bags, dropping on down. You see, they had cement full of weight. You can make a big bet. Tom's back in town. Jenny Dollar, Suki Tawdry, come down with life. It goes around. Life goes right, babe. Whenever Mackie's back in town. Look out, old Mackie's come back.
Mr. Jim Vermonte. Jim, next time maybe play it with a little more enthusiasm, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out. Our time is up, and we'd like to push the envelope a little bit and play one last tune, a patriotic tune to go out in style. It's the Stars and Stripes Forever. You guys are the best summer concert we play every year. We love doing this. We hope you have us back. We have had the time of our lives. And I didn't get to mention the rest of the band, so you'll actually have to have us come back next year so I can tell you the rest of the band. Anyway, this is Stars and Stripes. Thank you so much. Happy Independence Day weekend, and drive safely after we finish this song. Take care.
Thank you.
thank you so much. And of course, Framingham's own Ray Toronto on piccolo. Mr. Ray Toronto.
They should have had him in D.C. That would have upgraded the whole thing.
Mr. Ray Toronto. Thank you and good night.
All right, let's hear it one more time for the Tom Newley Big Band. Let's hear it for our special guest conductor, Glenn.